Hello everyone, this is Mr. DFX, CEO and founder of Beast Trading Software. Happy Friday to all of you. I hope you've all had a successful and profitable week. I'm going to jump right into the charts because we've had quite a busy week. I've got quite a lot of signals to show you that we've had with our Beast Super Signal Indicator. But before we get started, I just want to show you the settings that I'm working on. Pretty much working on default settings. I've set the bars to calculate to 1000, so the indicator will be displaying signals for the last 1000 bars, and using the default settings pretty much, except I've switched off alerts, but otherwise everything is default. So that is just to show you the settings that I'm working with. You'll also see that most of the charts that I'm working with are on the 15-minute chart. The reason being for that is we are mostly intraday traders. We like to trade daily signals. We don't like to really trade long-term signals. So we find most of the better opportunities for intraday trading on the 15-minute chart. But that's not to say that an indicator doesn't work well on other time frames. It does work well on other time frames. It just really depends what type of trader you are, whether you like to scalp an intraday trade like us, or long-term trade or swing trade. It's entirely up to you. But for our personal preference is on the 15-minute chart, and most of the signals that I'll be showing you today are on the 15-minute chart. Alright, so jumping straight into it, the first chart I want to show you is on the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar. We had some pretty good signal this week. Had a very nice buy over here. Looking back into last week, we had a good buy over there, another good buy here, and then later this week we had a very nice buy here. It did swing into a little bit of a drawdown, but it did recover nicely and took out our take profit. The next chart I'm going to show you is the Australian dollar and US dollar. This is on the 50-minute chart, 50 minutes time frame, and you can see we had our first signal here was a buy, which did unfortunately hit stop loss. But then we had a nice recovery buy signal here. We caught a fantastic sell signal here. Here we caught a buy, which looking at it probably would have hit our stop loss round about here, unfortunately. But then we did recover a very good sell signal here, which we had towards the end of this week. So overall, in general, looking actually at the stats, we're dealing with a profit factor of 3.37, which is very good, totaling 31 pips, and we have an average of 66%. Now that I'm just talking about the success rate, I just want to touch on that very lightly. You know, we base our statistics on the amount of signals that hit the take profit 3. So whenever we calculate a success rate, it is based on when price will hit our take profit 3. If a price hits take profit 1 or 2, that is not factored in as part of the total success rate. Now we also advertise and we say that our indicator is 70% accurate, and that is correct, but that is an average. So on some charts and some time frames you might find that success rate is lower, as in this case it's 66%, but on other charts or other time frames and other pairs the success rate could go up to 80, 90, even 100%. So it does average out around 70%, but then it's not to say that even having a lower success rate is not profitable, as in this case you could see the profit that we made even though the success rate was below 70%. So you can still make a good profit even though if the success rate is not that high. This all comes down to money management at the end of the day, but overall our indicator is 70% accurate. Okay, moving on. The next chart looking at is still on the Australian dollar and US dollar, but here we've moved up to the 50-minute time frame. Looking back into last week, we had a losing signal there, but then we did recover with these two buys. Here we had another good buy signal. Here we had a good sell, another good buy, and another good sell. So actually in general, out of all these last 8 signals, we had a 75% hit rate, which as you can see is pretty good. Moving on, we have the Canadian dollar and yen. We had a buy signal here, which was a loss. Here we had a buy, which was a win. Another buy is a win. Another buy is a win. And here we had a sell signal, which unfortunately, due to some fundamentals, it did take us out. Unfortunately, you know, even as good as our indicator can be, technically, it can't compete with fundamental news events. You know, when you have these unannounced fundamental news releases or high impact news events, they can work against us. You know, it's a 50-50 chance. Sometimes the news works on our favor of the technicals, and sometimes it doesn't. Unfortunately, nothing you can do except make sure that you use a stop loss. In this case, if you had used a stop loss, you would have saved yourself an additional loss when this spike went up here. So always use a stop loss on your trades and you'll easily be able to mitigate any losses that you might have. Moving on, we have the euro and Australian dollar. Looking back into last week, fantastic two sell signals here. This really paid off very nicely. And then into this week, we had a good sell over here, banked in some really nice pips, and then we had another sell signal here, which we're still waiting, and we'll keep holding this into the next week, and it should hopefully play out in our favor. Here we have the euro and New Zealand dollar. We had a buy signal this week, last week. Didn't really go our way, unfortunately, but we did recover on the next buy signal, and this one just took off very nicely, as you can see. Then we had another buy signal and took off very nicely as well. So this loss was easily mitigated and made up for with the last two buy signals. Then on the euro dollar, the most actively traded pair, we can see we had two fantastic buy signals here. Here we had a losing signal, but it made up for two winning signals here, another two winning signals here, and another winning signal here. So it's been a pretty good week on the euro dollar. Here we're on the pound and Swiss franc. Looking into last week, we had a fantastic sell, a losing buy signal, made up for it with the following buy signal, another good buy signal, and then here another two good buy signals before it reversed. So over on this pair as well, we averaged 261 pips on this pair with a 72% accuracy. So this has been a pretty good week on this pair. Next pair we're looking at is the dragon, the pound yen. This has also been a pretty good pair for us this last week. We had got a good sell there, a good buy here, another good buy, another good sell, and another good buy. So overall, in general, a pretty good week based on the dragon, totaling 139 pips, a profit factor of 2.36, and a 62% accuracy. But even with that low accuracy rate, we still managed to get quite a few pips on this signal. Next we're looking at is the New Zealand dollar and Canadian dollar. We had a very good sell signal here, also another good sell, another good buy, and another good sell. Well, this sell actually just fell short of TP2 before reversing, so this would have been a loss. But in general, looking on the statistics, we had made 86 pips with a 5.77 profit factor and an 80% win rate. So as you can see in this case, yeah, we had a much higher accuracy rate than what we say is 70%. Next we're looking at is the US dollar, Canadian dollar. On the 5-minute chart, looking at this, we had some pretty good sell signals this week. In last week, we had caught a very good buy. Here we caught a sell. This sell did range for a bit, but eventually it did go down and take profit. Unfortunately, we took 2 losses on these 2 buys. Actually, we took 3 losses on this buy, and then we did catch a very good buy at the end, managing to recover, totaling 60 pips profit on this pair with a 70% success rate. And then for those of you who like to trade gold, here we have gold on the 50-minute chart. Here we had a fantastic buy signal last week. We did catch one losing signal over here, but then we did make up for it with this sell. Here we did get a good buy signal, and then here we got another buy signal, which unfortunately took out our stop loss before reversing and hitting take profit. But if you look at the stats on gold, we made 354 pips on the 6 signals we had. We had a very high profit factor, and with an 83% success rate. So gold did really pretty well in this last week. And the last chart I want to show you is for Nasdaq. Some of you who like trading indices or Nasdaq, this is on the 1-hour chart. I just want to show you the last signals we've had. We've had pretty good. We had a few losers. We had a few good winners. Here is a good winner. This was a loser. These 2 were winners. This was a winner. This was a winner. And this one, unfortunately, was a loser. But we averaged 50% success rate. It was not that great. But if you look at the stats, we made 121 pips, which is still profitable. So even though we did have a slightly lower statistic on our hit rate, we did still make a profit. So finishing off the week pretty well. As you can see, guys, it's been a very good week. Using the B Super Signal indicator. If you'd like more information on this indicator, you can check out our website in the link below. You can also check us out on NQR5.com. If you look up on NQR5 on the first page of indicators, we are there on the top page. We are one of the top ranked indicators on NQR5 with a perfect 5-star rating. If you guys are looking for an automated solution, we do have our own Beast Super Signal EA, which can trade all these signals for you automatically, fully automated. So for those of you who have jobs or you just don't have a lot of time to sit and watch the charts, we do have our EA, which can, in a way, just plug and play, set and forget. You just set it up and it will trade all the signals for you. We do provide optimized set files as well to all our clients who use our EA, so they can use our personalized set files to trade for you. Guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you've all had a great week. Thank you for watching, and check you later. Cheers.